What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and EGLD. Very soon I'm going to do some videos on Cardano, Polkadot, Aave, and GRT. I've been watching these pretty closely, and honestly they've been making some moves lately. GRT has gone over 100% in a very short period of time. Now it's kind of correcting a little bit. So we're going to have to look at that, but we're going to do those in another video. So today, Bitcoin, Ethereum, EGLD, let's just go ahead and get started. All right, with Bitcoin, our big dog, we are seeing some very, very interesting things. If you'd been following this channel for a while, you know I've been doing a lot of videos on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and unfortunately I had to delete a lot of those because of YouTube issues. So now I'm starting off fresh, and we're going to just explain a couple of things if you haven't been following this for too long. Basically, our lines here that you see in multicolor, they go back a little bit of time, and they give us some different information. This yellow line used to be our bottom. This was our support area for the entire bull run. Now it actually flipped into a resistance. It was for a while. When we were trading at 33 until we broke out of 41,000, that was our resistance line. We flipped that line. We're not even touching it anymore. Now basically what we've done is we've come and hit the green line. And it just shows you how accurate these lines are, right? I mean, we made these lines months ago, and now we're well, not months, but like a month ago. And basically that green line has held perfectly as a resistance line, and we are seeing that the same area that was support once before has flipped to resistance now. And that's really what you want to see. You know, this is giving us a lot of good info. So I'm going to switch over to the 4-hour, and we're going to take a closer look at this and see what really is going on. Now, one of the things you really want to know about Bitcoin is that Bitcoin is massively undervalued with everything that's going on. I mean, that's why it's seen such a huge rise since October of 2020, when it was around 10,000, 12,000. It's now sitting at almost 50K. And I think we're very close to breaking 50K. And I'm going to show you a couple reasons why I think that is. Number one thing that we've done many times with Bitcoin is we have bounced off this red line. And that red line is basically our EMA. And you know what I'm going to do? Since someone had mentioned to me that the red line doesn't show up too well, let's make that red line a blue color. Let's make it bold. And let's hit OK. Let's also go to the orange line, and we'll make that bold, you know, a little brighter. The aqua line, we'll do the same thing. And this blue line you can barely see, so let's make that blue line like a red. It's like a bright pink actually, and we'll make that bold also. So you should now be able to see these moving averages way better on your screen. Okay, so this blue line here is our 20 exponential moving average, and we're looking at the 4-hour chart. Now what you can see is if we switch over to even the daily, you can definitely see that the 20 exponential moving average on both these time frames, this blue line, has been really key. On the daily chart, we basically traded above this line throughout the entire bull run. You'll see back here, we're sitting at 12,000 in price. From 12,000 all the way up to where we are now, close to 50,000, Bitcoin treaded on top of this line. Whenever it hit the line, it bounced off of it. So as a trader, you know, I don't give financial advice on this channel, but one thing you need to know as a trader is many traders follow these moving averages, because if you're thinking about putting in a long position, it's pretty smart to put in a long position once you start going below the 20 exponential moving average, especially when you're on a bullish asset like Bitcoin. So anytime if people put in longs below this 20 exponential moving average throughout this bull run, they did really well. I mean, look here. It went below, and if you put in a long, you could have sold somewhere up here. You could have put in another long down here and sold up here. And now when it dropped down and almost hit that 20 exponential, you could have put in a long here and sold up here. So it's a very key moving average for a lot of reasons. You'll see a lot of people put like they'll put their trades so that they're doing a long like either at the exponential moving average, then another long like a little bit below it in case it drops further to kind of mitigate their risk. You know, in this scenario, you were kind of screwed if you put in a long at the 20 exponential because it dropped further below it, and it actually ended up touching the 50 exponential. But the reason I'm telling you this is because now we've been trading below the 20 exponential for a while, and we've gone far above it on the daily chart. So on the daily chart, if we continue moving up, this exponential moving average is going to keep moving up, and that's going to solidify a huge upward trend. Now with Bitcoin also during these major bull areas, so you'll see now we've kind of hit a major bull area again. This was quite possibly the largest bullish daily candle we've ever seen in the history of Bitcoin. I mean, it literally went from 38,000 to 46,800. That's a massive candle. You know, that's a huge candle. What are we talking about? We're talking about 46.8 minus 38. We're talking about an $8,800 candle. I can't imagine that that's not the biggest in Bitcoin's history. It probably is. Now, if we go down lower, you'll also notice that every time we went above this and we were really bullish, we started to see activity similar to now, right? We would have some bullish candles. We'd have a little bit of a red candle to correct. We'd have bullish candles, a little bit of a red candle to correct. This doesn't look like it's ready to flip to me yet. With Bitcoin, what I'm expecting, and I could be wrong, so remember this is never financial advice, but what I'm expecting at this point is to see this red candle close out, and the daily closes out in what, 2 hours from now? So in 2 hours, we see this daily candle close. And sometime tomorrow, I would honestly expect to see us breaking 50K. I mean, I suppose we could do one more red candle, or we could do one candle where we're just kind of like this one here, where we were undecided, and then we move up. But I think breaking 50K is going to happen very, very soon. So that's very interesting. And I'm going to show you one other reason why I believe that. So if we go back to the 4-hour chart, there's one indicator that we've been looking. It's not even really an indicator. It's something I use as an indicator. So we're going to turn off the exponential moving averages. And what we're going to do as well is turn off a few of these other things. We're going to remove the symmetrical triangle and all these lines. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on compare at the top of TradingView. You can't see it on your screen, but there's a compare button up there. And then I'm going to select ETH USD, and I'm going to put them on the same percentage scale. So now when I put them on the same percentage scale, what I want to do is I want to zoom out until the Ethereum line, which is the orange line, and the Bitcoin line, which is multicolored in this case, start matching up and show us a pattern where they were trading at the same percentage scale. Now what you notice here is whenever you had deviations, like a big deviation where Ethereum was way below Bitcoin on the percentage scale, Ethereum bounced up and caught up. And we saw this similarly with Bitcoin. In this scenario, right here, you had Bitcoin way below Ethereum on the percentage scale, and Bitcoin went up and tried to catch up, but it actually went back down. But now it's gone up and it's caught up a little bit more. So if we're expecting the same thing to happen, to get back to a point where we're trading a little closer together, then what we're going to be expecting to see is Bitcoin to make a move like so. Hang on, let's get rid of this. Okay, so we're going to be expecting something like that. Now, if we see Bitcoin make that kind of a move, that's actually going a little bit above there. So let's not take it all the way up. Let's take it right up to there. So that basically matches where Ethereum is on the percentage scale. And if we want these two to equalize, which we have seen them do so many times in the past, and then they kind of trade together, what we're looking for Bitcoin, now you see we see percentages on the right, so we actually don't want to see percentages, right? We're going to switch these up, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn this off, or actually we'll leave that on, but we will go back to the watch list. I'm actually going to adjust this a bit, so it gives you some more room just to see my chart. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to move this over a little bit, and we're going to take a look. So we were taking a look about here, you know, actually this percentage scale has kind of changed. So the percentage scale kind of changes when you do the zoom. So you got to do it at the right point where you see the maximum similarity between the two lines. So this is where we were looking, right? So now I'm going to go to compare and I'm going to remove the percentage scale. When you do that, you get your prices back. And then you can kind of give yourself a very temporary prediction of where the price is going to go. And this is putting the price all the way up to 54,600. So what that's telling me is Bitcoin is primed for another move up. And with Ethereum already making the jump up on its chart, Bitcoin is not going to be far behind. We're about to see Bitcoin make some moves, in my opinion. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that. Granted, this could be, you never know which way it's going to turn out in reality. So, you know, hedge your bets and trade safely if you're a trader. And don't take anything I say as financial advice. This is just supposed to be to help you out. One thing I'll show you is we did this prediction on my channel a few weeks ago, and this was our prediction. All right, this line right here was our prediction, and look where the price is. I mean, it's basically exactly where we predicted it would be. And how late are we? We are 4 days late. So it took about, well, by this time where it hit it the first time, that was on the 8th. We made the prediction on the 5th. So within 3 days of us making this prediction, we had Bitcoin come up and almost test the top of where our prediction line was. And now our prediction line is going all the way up to 56. So we'll see how long that takes. We'll keep this on our, we'll keep this on our radar so we can take a look at it again later. So that's pretty much it with Bitcoin as far as the chart goes. I do have something else that I want to pull up here for you to take a look at. So we're going to take a look at this article, and this basically talks about the Miami Council mayor's move to support, or I'm sorry, Miami Council support mayor's move to offer city workers salaries in Bitcoin. So basically what happened here, the mayor of Miami has been really trying to get into Bitcoin. And we're seeing here that he said that the city commission has supported his resolution. And now he wants to thank the city of Miami commissioners for supporting, which directs the city manager to, after analysis, to procure a vendor able to offer our employees to get a percentage of their salary in Bitcoin and allow our residents to pay for fees in Bitcoin. It says the resolution would also put a proposition before the state legislature that, if successful, would see Bitcoin as an acceptable investment for municipal funds. So what that means is that the city of Miami is not only preparing to allow their employees to receive a percentage of their salary in Bitcoin, and who knows what that percentage would be. Maybe it'll have a limit, like 10%, 20%, or maybe you'll be able to choose. Do you want 100%? Do you want 10%? It's up to you. We don't know yet. We're going to find out all those details. But the fact that they're moving in the direction is getting approved for them to do this, they are going to be setting an example for the rest of the United States, where you finally have a city that is not only paying its employees in a currency that's doing much better than the US dollar, but it's also allowing them to pay back the city in that currency, and the city is looking to start investing its own money in that currency. If Miami pulls that off and starts investing in Bitcoin, Miami could become the most wealthy city in America in a matter of time. In the next 5 years, if Bitcoin crosses $400,000 or $500,000 and Miami has put millions of dollars into Bitcoin, Miami is going to be worth a lot of money. You're going to see a lot of improvements in that city. And it's a very, very interesting thing to see, and it's setting an example for the rest of the country. So I thought that was very interesting, and you should be aware of it. So let's go ahead and turn these indicators back on. And that's pretty much it for Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin, we're just looking to see it break this green line at the moment, which is around 50,000. So we are looking for a move up to break 50. On the event that we go to the downside, I'm not expecting us to drop much below 45,000. Our major support level right now is sitting at around 43,500. So I don't expect us to go below 45, but if we do, we have a lot of support at 43. My indication here is that we are looking for Bitcoin to cross 50,000 in the next couple of days, if not sooner. So let's keep an eye on it and see how it plays out. It'll be very interesting. Next up, we have our boy Ethereum. Ethereum has been making some moves, and we are looking at our Fibonacci retracement. That has been super accurate. This chart has been the money for us. It's basically shown us that we had clear support and resistance levels. We hit all the lines on the Fibonacci retracement. I told you a few days ago on another video that's since been deleted because of our friend YouTube, that we basically have to go up and touch this line, find support at this line at 1720, and then come through and break 1820. We are now breaking 1820. Our prediction the last time was that if we break 1820 and we flip the 1820 level as support, meaning we don't fall below it again, or if we do, we are only trading at the 1820 level, then we are looking for Ethereum to make a massive move and break 2,000. Because basically now, Ethereum is getting dangerously close. Like, look at the right of my chart, all right? Hang on, let me make it bigger. So if you look at the right of the chart where Ethereum's trading right now, there is not a lot of trading activity up here. That means that it can go into blue sky breakout, which means that it goes into price discovery. It goes into a point where people don't know where is the support, where is the resistance. What we know is that at the very least, we'll definitely hit some resistance at 2K. You can usually use whole numbers, so like 1900, 1950, 2000. You expect some resistance at those numbers because people are more likely to put in orders at those numbers, so you might have a lot of sells happening as you're on the way up. But if you get some big buyers coming in and buying in, Ethereum is looking to make massive moves. The other thing with Ethereum that's making it look very bullish right now is the fact that on the 4 hour, the RSI is sitting at only around 67. Now, one thing, I've mentioned the RSI numerous times in my videos. What you need to know about the RSI, I wanted to give you a little bit better of an explanation of it. All right, so the RSI tells you the strength of the asset you're looking at. Think of it that way. It's more complex, but I'm making it easy to understand so you can look at it and use it. So pretty much when you see this line at the top, that's the 70 level. If the RSI is crossing that 70 level, that means that it's overbought. That means that too many people have been buying, the price has gone up too far, and not enough people have taken profits. That means that you're normally looking for the asset to start taking profits. The people who bought very low, they're probably going to sell sometime soon, and the price is going to come back down. So the strength of the asset starts decreasing as the RSI gets higher. Now, that's why I always say you want to see the RSI sit between a certain level. If the RSI is between around 40 and 55, that's a really good area. Okay, so above 70, overbought. That means you're looking for it to correct at some point and for people to take profits. Now, if it's below 30, if the RSI ever hits or goes below the 30 level, that means it's oversold. That means a lot of people have taken profits and the price has gone back to a level that the RSI is predicting that it's a very good buy point. That's where people are going to start buying. And basically what we end up seeing is we have a lot of traders that use the RSI to determine their buy levels and their sell levels. So you end up seeing it be a lot more fundamentally accurate because there's a lot of people using it. So it's a very interesting metric to look at, but that's the key, right? If you're overbought, too many people buying, not enough people selling. If you're oversold, too many people selling, not enough people buying. And if you become way oversold, like you drop well below the 30 level, that means that the asset is dumping like crazy and nobody wants to buy. Okay, so these are things to look out for. Anyways, with Ethereum, the RSI right now is sitting at roughly 65, which means it still has room to move. You'll see in these other pumps when it went way, like it had a big move up, it went well above the 70 level and it was well high into that oversold area. But even that's not that high, that's 80. We've seen Bitcoin and other assets go into 90 on the 4 hour or 95 until they start having a correction and sideways trading. So for Ethereum, it's very possible that even if we go up to around 70, 75, that could be when we're breaking 2000. So that means if Ethereum has a massive pump and goes all the way up to the 80 or 90 level on the RSI, that could push the price to 2100, 2200. So we're looking for a lot of movement from Ethereum in the near future, following the way the charts are moving. If it continues with upward motion, the FOMO will begin eventually and people will not want to miss out and they'll start buying more and Ethereum will start moving up. So keep an eye on it. It's a very crucial point right now. We really need to see how it interacts between the 1800 to 1850 level. Is it going to break above 1850, 1860 and start hitting 1900? Or is it going to trade within 1820 and 1900? So we need at least another 6 hours worth of trading to see how it's going in this range on the hourly chart. Right now, if we look at the hourly chart, you'll see in this range, we're only just starting to break that line. That means that we need to see, are we just going to fall back through that line? Or are we going to get support at that line and move higher and break 19? So that's really key for Ethereum right now. Keep an eye out on it. I'm pretty bullish on Ethereum, and I think that it's been going sideways long enough. The RSI is looking good at pretty much all levels. Even on the daily, the RSI is not overbought yet. So that means that Ethereum has a lot of room to move on all these major charts and these major time frames, and I think we're about to start seeing it. So that's Ethereum, and now we go into EGLD. All right, so EGLD, very interesting. Yesterday, when we talked, I had given you a few levels to look at, right? We were looking, let me see, did I save that triangle I created? Hang on. There it is. Okay, so I'd created this correction triangle, okay, when we talked the last time about EGLD. And basically what I told you is that we were looking for EGLD to get support at this line, and then we were looking for it to come towards the end of the apex around this time on the 12th, and then we were looking for it to break out. That's exactly what's happening. So we are literally seeing that with EGLD right now, and if EGLD continues to break out of this, then we could be looking for some very good moves for EGLD. Okay, so pretty much we held that support in the triangle really, really well. It looked a little dicey at times, but all of these wicks that got bought up, if you look at them closely, you can see that EGLD got bought up very, very well in this area. Now, what that's telling me is that people were buying the entire time. And as you start seeing the lower highs, then that means even if you thought that, oh, EGLD's done, EGLD's going down, whatever it is, a lot of people freaked out with this dip. But the fact of the matter is these kind of dips happen. This has to happen. This is how something continues moving. If it doesn't have a dip like this, it's not going to just keep going up forever. That's not how it works. You know, people are going to take profits. That's just life. That's how these markets work. And if you're not taking profits at some point, you need to think about it. Profit taking is part of your strategy. Buying and holding forever is not always the best strategy, because then you might get a lot of gains and you might miss the drops. You know, for people who sold at this level, if they had a strategic plan and they were deciding to sell when EGLD hits 200, they would at least have the option to buy back when it fell back to 150. But if you never sell, you're never gonna have that option. So sometimes you gotta give yourself that option and you gotta take some profits, put the money aside, you know, possibly move it into another asset. Like the ideal move at this situation would have been to sell EGLD at around 200, 215, and then put it into Bitcoin. Because then you would have gotten the gains on EGLD, you would have gotten the gains on Bitcoin, and then you could have taken more money and like the same, you could have put in the money that you just kept growing and bought yourself even more EGLD when it dropped down to like the 150 level. And it stayed at 150 for a while. So there was a lot of time to buy there. So just some things to think about. You know, you got to think about your strategies. I don't give you financial advice. I just give you ideas, and you got to take those ideas and implement them how you see fit. Doing things like this can be very risky. So if you're not really into trading like that, just holding the asset for a super long period of time, if you believe in it, that's a great strategy too. I mean, that's what I do with Bitcoin. I don't trade it. I just hold my Bitcoin. I don't touch it, you know, because if I touch it, I risk losing it. So I don't want to risk losing it, you know? So if that's your mentality, you have to have a strategy for that too. And sometimes holding is a strategy. So everything's okay, but you know, just consider other options if you ever want to give them a try with small amounts to see like, does it work out for you? Is this something you could do? You know, but you got to figure that out on your own. Okay, so we've done this, and let's see if I can... Why did this move, dude? What is going on? Did I close that? I'm so sorry. I don't even know how long you weren't seeing the prices here. Okay, but basically, what I was showing you before, in case you weren't able to see the prices, is that here we wanted to stay at this line. You already saw that. We've gone above this line now and we've started breaking it. So the key for EGLD is very simple. It's what we talked about before. It's breaking the 180 level. We just touched the 180 level. So on the hourly, we're at a very interesting point. What I would love to see with EGLD right now is I would love to see it move like this, come back down, and bounce off this line. When you see a bounce off of a symmetrical triangle, that's a very good indication that you're going to move up. And this line is at 170, and we're only at 176 right now. So if it comes back down over like 3 hours, let's say over the next 2-3 hours, it trades from 170 to 180, and then we come back down, we see a bounce off this triangle, and then we keep moving up, EGLD could be back up at 200 very quickly, like maybe within a couple of days. So, or less than that. I don't know. I mean, sometimes it moves so quick, it's hard to know. So keep an eye on it. I think EGLD's looking very bullish right now, and I'm happy with how it's doing. You know, we wanted to see a bullish break out of this triangle and not a bearish break. And we did not see a bearish break. And the good thing about this also is this all happened on quite low volume compared to the sells and the buys. Like this candle right here, this was a dump, right? This candle was a dump. It went all the way down to around 145. But look at it. It's a green candle. That dump got bought up 100%. It came right back to where it was. And basically then it started trading and it never went below that line again. So the fact that it went down there and never went below the line, that's a very good sign. That means that what we thought was going to be a red candle turned into a green candle. And there was actually more buying here than there was selling. So that's really good. And if you look at the last day, you're seeing more buying across the board than selling. You're also seeing it right now. So if we start seeing more buy volume come in now, something similar to what we had here, we could be looking for a massive rise with EGLD. So keep an eye on it. It's not confirmed yet though. You know, you can't make hasty decisions, but you got to know the info. It's looking really good. That could change, so we got to keep looking at it. But right now it's looking really good. And you know, it needs to stay above this triangle. So it's at 173 right now. It's coming back to the triangle, but that's actually fine. As long as we trade at this level and we break up, that's good. You know, what I don't want to see at this point is this. I don't want to see us fall back below the triangle and then start going down. If that happens, that's not a great sign. I mean, as long as we don't go below 146, it's not the worst thing. but it's not a great sign when you're already starting to break this triangle. But it does happen sometimes, you know. Sometimes you'll go out of a symmetrical triangle bullish, then you'll flip back in, you won't get support, and you'll fall right through. So these things can happen. Keep an eye on it. You know, you gotta really make your own judgment calls on what you think is gonna happen. No one can give you a perfect prediction, but from the looks of it right now, it's looking as if we might break fully bullish out of this, but it's still a little early to tell. So keep an eye on it. I think EGLD's looking really good in my opinion. And, you know, throughout this whole dump, I didn't sell anything. I just left everything. I didn't even want to risk trading EGLD because I thought that even if I sold at 200, 250, I might not get another opportunity. Maybe it'll drop a little bit and just shoot up. So I was like, you know what? Why risk it? I'm staking all my EGLD anyways. If I want to sell it, I got to pull it out of staking. It's on the wait list, so I can pull it out whenever I want. But you know, if I pull it out and sell it and I could have been earning rewards on it and instead lose it because I made a bad trade, what's the point in that? So I saved myself the stress and I just didn't even mess with it. I just left it where it was and I'm doing great on it. So pretty much it for EGLD. More videos are going to come in the near future, you guys. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you give me your comments as usual. I will talk to you soon. Hope you enjoyed this and have a great weekend. Later.